March 12, 2024, Greater Clark County School Board of Trustee meeting to order. Ms. Markowski, all board members are present, accounted for. And if you all would please stand up and say the pledge.
Oh,
I'm sorry. We're opening the public hearing. I apologize.
No, we're good.
Well, we're going to say the pledge, I promise you.
Skip my public hearing.
It's going to pass.
Good evening, board. Good to see you this evening. We're having a public hearing tonight regarding the amendment to the lease for our 2024 projects and the additional appropriation of bond proceeds later on in the meeting. You will be approving those resolutions. I'm glad to let you know that there was no questions about the project, but I am here tonight to answer any questions that you may have about our 2024 projects that we are doing our lease rental borrowing for the year one of 5-year approved plan. Hearing none, my recommendation to the board is to go ahead and adjourn this public hearing.
I move that we adjourn the public hearing. Do I have a second? Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained. Now we are going to open the March 12, 2024 Greater Clark County School Board of Trustee meeting, and please stand with me to say the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Board, first item will be the approval of the agenda, and I motion to approve the agenda as presented. Can I please have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Ms. Hutchinson. Do we have any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining. All right, the next item will be the approval of previous minutes, and I would move that we approve those as well. If I can please have a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining. Okay, next we have public comments. I believe we do have public comments. Let's see. So would you please come up and state your name and come on up to the podium, state your name and your address. And it's Jim Young and Pat York are our speakers. But yeah, come on up and say your address and we'll try to keep it around 3 minutes. It's your school teacher and we'll give you some slack.
Superintendent, I'm before I speak fast. My name is Jim Young. I've got a subject that I'd really like to present to you people tonight. It's not a brand new subject, it's an old subject. If anybody has ever paid attention to politics right now, we are under 4% unemployment in the United States. But guess what? We've contacted 25 to 30 people out here that run car dealerships, parts stores, everybody. We are crying for people with qualifications for this. If you've ever watched Dirty Jobs, you'll know that 85% of the work that we have out here is not filled right now. It's people without a college education. You can be as smart as you want to be, but if you're not a doer, you can't think. If you can't think, you're not going to be a doer. A doer that does well and thinks really well probably helps you people get in the church that you're sitting in. So somewhere you learn something. I'm considered a college-educated person, but I'm a nitwit when it comes time to fix a toilet. If you think you don't need people that know how to work with their hands, invite 6 of your daughter or your granddaughter, in our case, over to your house for a sleepover and find out the toilet's clubbed. Yeah, you're going to need it. Or wait till it's 2 o'clock in the morning and your heater is out, it's out 20 degrees outside. What I want to bring up to you guys today is we've got New Washington, Charlestown, and Jeffersonville. We used to have vocational training for these people. An auto shop had my ran for 27 years, and it worked fine, we thought. Anyhow, people said, well, Jim, you can send all these people to Prosser. No, you can't. Prosser cannot possibly keep up with the people that they need right now, nor can our communities fill these slots. There are places for these kids to go to work. They're contacting that on a daily basis. Providing material, we used to get 7 brand new Subaru cars given to us. Lincoln Tech gave us cars that every year we would ask for them. We drove up to Cleveland and got all kinds of material. So material, the stuff to train with is not an issue. Place to train is no longer an issue. Pat was talking to one of the principals. There is an area in the building. The old building we used to have was sitting there blank. Some of the bus drivers, our previous student came to us and said, Jim, why, Pat, Why in the world don't we have a program like this? We have parents calling us on him more so than me, because I live across the river. And they called him and said, why can't we start this program up? So Pat asked me to talk to you about that. Think about the kids in New Washington. You say, well, if they really want to go to a vocational school, Jim, they can drive over to Knoxville. Then driving's not a good idea. Bus rides, who wants to get on a bus ride for an hour and a half to set 3 hours for kids you don't even know, then ride 3 hours back? That's a long day for a kid. And we've talked to kids that they don't want to go to another school. They want to stick with the kids at their own school. So that was really nice and neat for environmental purposes, for all purposes concerned. Not only did we teach kids, and the need for it's still there. Not only did we provide this for the kids, and it can still be done, but more so with younger people, more interested. And Pat and I have. We didn't teach kids just to be mechanics. Some of our graduates, we got a commander in the Navy, we got a doctor, you got one in your local police force, we got nurses. We teach them as important as a particular trade. We teach work ethics. If you have good work ethics, you can just about succeed in anything you want to do. Some of the equipment that we had given to us, like Subaru cars, was 8 of them. ID Tech gave us cars. Every time we would go to a meeting, they gave us an abundance of stuff. And one of the costs every time I hear this is, who can afford this? Well, if you ask the people in town, I don't think we can afford not to do it. There's a thing called an ICBTE form. Mr. Markwell should be familiar with those. ICBTE forms are filled out every year. I have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that the program within 2 years will pay for itself and make Greater Clark County School System money if it's ran properly, and it was. Okay, and police officers, what else? The ICBTE forms, we need trades. Everybody that I know is calling us park places. How many dealerships? Pat, 40-some dealerships, 40, 50-some dealerships. We can provide you for that. If you drive within a 50-mile radius of Charlestown High School, you're going to find one of the kids that we train, and you're going to say the same guy that hired those kids, and they're still there, and they're saying, give us more, give us more, give us more. And that's what I would implore you guys. Watch your guy on TV. Skip Naked or Afraid, or whatever they call it, and watch one episode. Watch one episode of the Dirty Jobs guy. And he can explain to you way better than I can the need that we have today. Not just for Pat and I. We're pretty good advisors. That's about what we can do anymore. But we're willing to help get something established like that, and we need your help doing it. A real slick way to find a better interest in what I'm providing. Go to your sophomores in your schools, especially your teacher lady. Go to your sophomores in school and go find their survey. And let the English teacher put it out, and she can grade it for grammatics of English later on. And ask these kids if they would be interested in some kind of a vocational program like that. It wouldn't take long to do that at all. Once you get that information back, talk to the constituents to put you guys in this chair, see what they think. And then we get a career day coming up. What's it coming up at? You have career days every year still, right? Okay, invite a speaker like myself or Pat to come talk to the people. Institute that, just get that little spark of interest, and these kids can go a long ways. We don't necessarily teach them to be professional mechanics, but we teach them to get their foot in the door. You can't, with the time that we have, 2 years, the program that we had, the second half of the second year, we had dealerships calling and saying, are they ready yet? Are they ready yet? Are they ready?
Right.
We said those kids are working, the majority of them are still there.
Well, thank you, Mr. Young. We appreciate the heck out of that, and we have talked about it as a board as well. And so we appreciate your time, and you gave us some valuable information to go back and talk more about.
I appreciate your consideration for that.
Thank you.
And I have a minute up, but if anyone would care of that, we're going to do that longer. I would be at your place, coffee shop, anywhere you would like to, for a whole bunch of other information to stage it, what I was talking about.
And I thank you. Mr. York, thank you as well for your call board and reaching out. We appreciate that. Okay, the next item would be the major funds monitoring report. Warren, you here?
Yes, Mr.
Welcome
President,
back.
I am coming to the board tonight to report to you where your cash position is for the district. We're going to start backwards. Rainy Day still maintains that good balance that we had, that 10 million. The 2 debt funds are sitting there, the pension is sitting there. Now it's becoming more, I'm getting more involved in telling you about that because budget season is just right around the corner. I know you guys are excited about that. Pension debt's due to pay off at the end of 2024. So we have a cash balance there, plus the low tax that we collecting for that. Those two will pay that debt off this year. And the same thing will happen with debt services. We continue to build that cash balance. That's where we adjust our tax rate to stay at that valuable balance and maintain for the past 4 years. And then your operations and education fund, you see, if you look at the ending balance, operations is at $3 million, a little over $3 million last year. At this time, we ended the month at $1.4 million. And education is at $11,468,000. And last year, this time we ended at $9.8 million. Mind you, I have not transferred any funds because I do it when? In June and in December. So we will do that. Next month, you might say, okay, we're looking at this $2 million thing that we got going on. Well, in March, we will have 3 pays. You won't have a braggable moment at that time, but you will back in April. So we're keeping track of this. The March meeting is a very valuable time. This is where we tread for budget, any future decisions for the district that we make. If there's any questions like that, we'll take those this evening.
We good?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you. Next up, will be the Haven Group update.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Board. We finally get a chance to get in front of you and say a few words. I'm moving this really quick. So we put that out to bid in March or February 14th. All the bids are due this week, Thursday. We'll be right here in this room. You want to have some fun, see what's going on. You'll get to see a lot of bid and subcontractors come in and drop them off. We'll close up the room and then open up those packets. So we sent out a little over 350 to subcontractors and vendors all over Kentucky and Indiana. And right now our team is working on those permits. We've got a good team going. We have been working with Laura and Nate and Mark, and we've been looking at this building and how to do this. And, you know, for the last several months, you can see an overview. Those apartments are now built. So what we have looked at is when everybody gets out of school, we're going to tear down that little corner, that one little part in the back, and then we're going to start working on clearing that out. Got a lot of trees, a lot more trees and brush around the edge than you realize. If you look over the blue that's over there, that kind of aqua blue, that's going to be where our trailers and everything will be, and then we'll be able to have everybody out front and over on the side. So we are getting logistically everything ready. Been working with the city and the state, obviously, on permitting, looking at the traffic flow around that area to where the construction vehicles and everybody can bring things in, so that way you all don't get any phone calls and complaints. So this is going to be where it'll finish up, and you'll see that when the school is built, then obviously a couple summers from now we'll go in there, demo the old school, and get the parking lots and everything in there. We've also looked at some areas for playgrounds and some other things as we've started to move through that. But as we know, on Thursday, we'll see where the bids are and how much money is left and what we can do. So we do have a groundbreaking on April 19th. I believe you've all got an invitation. We've sent them out to other local officials, and we plan on having a good shovel and dirt throwing contest while we're there, so you can get that farthest down away from the building. So we appreciate the opportunity. Sorry, I don't have a better flyby or picture, but that's what the renderings, that's what I got from the architect, and that's where we are right now. So I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Very good. All right, next item will be the consent agenda. Or do I have a motion for the approval? Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on, technology time to catch up. We rarely say that.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as submitted.
I second.
Excellent.
Lord, do we have any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained. You know, we're going to keep moving. Next would be gifts to building.
Yes, we have had so much. I want to point out new Washington Elementary for their archery program. We had Judge Jacobs, we had Benjamin K. Reed, attorney at law, we had Driscoll Law Office, Stelling for Judge Court, and Dustin White, and lots of donations there for the archery program, as well as River Valley Middle School. We had several to the Wizard of Oz, which I bet was amazing. I move that we accept these gifts to building in the amount of $14,364 and
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Do we have any questions or comments?
Yeah, what attorney's kid is in archery in New Washington? much. It's just not in my hair. Very good sport.
It probably helps with personal injury law. They would support that program. That's my guess, I'm just like causing a fact, you know.
Oh, goodness. That's what Brian, Mr. Jones would know probably. Yeah, there you go.
Another one that sticks out is steel engineering, give $1,800.
Yeah, for negative student accounts. That's
That's
great.
awesome.
It's all, it's all.
Yes.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstained? Okay, next, action item, City of Jeffersonville donation natatorium.
Good news, many of you are aware of, and actually came to the meeting, the redevelopment meeting that was in Jeffersonville, and also city council meeting. They have approved an interlocal agreement with Greg Clark to give the district $1 million towards the construction of the natatorium. So we're very happy that they're part of that project and supportive of what we're trying to do there at Jeff High. And I'm recommending to the board that we definitely accept that monetary donation to the district.
All right. Board, do I have a motion for the approval of the donation from the City of Jefferson?
I move that we approve the donation from the city of Jeff and for the Jeffersonville High School natatorium, and I think that was from the redevelopment.
Yes, redevelopment.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Mustaine. Any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained. All right, next will be the City of Charlestown donation, Charlestown High School.
Also another positive thing going on in terms of donations. As many of you know, we've had issues with the sound system up at Charlestown High School in the gym for quite a while. I think since the building opened, I believe. It's always been very hard to hear in there. And so the Charlestown Redevelopment Commission has pledged $80,000 towards a new sound system for the Charlestown High School gym that will hopefully fix all the problems that we've had over the years. So I would recommend that you approve this interlocal agreement giving this donation to Greater Clark, but specifically Charlestown High School for the sound system.
Hey, Board, do I have a motion for the approval of the interlocal agreement?
Mr. President, I move we approve the interlocal agreement with the city of Charlestown.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Any questions or comments? We all know it's very needed, so
Very gracious.
that's very gracious of the city. Any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining. Okay, route addendum, 21C. Mr. Waters, how are you, sir?
Doing wonderful, sir. How are you all doing?
Hanging in there.
This is actually more good news. This is 21C. This is our choice route. So this is the bus that takes students from basically middle of Jeffersonville, or as far as in between Charlestown and Jeffersonville, takes them up to Charlestown High and Charlestown Middle. Increased ridership, which means that route has been added about 6 miles to that route. So we're just looking to addend that contract and add that mileage to it.
Awesome. Board, I move that we approve the route addendum to 21C.
Also,
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Are there any questions or comments from Mr. Borders? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next will be the resolution for supplemental payments. Ms. Helton, how are you?
I'm doing well, how are you?
Very good.
Good. Okay, we're going to continue the theme of good news here. Attached here, you have some resolutions to pay employees, listed some supplemental pay for the work they provided. Most of these are for athletic tournaments and the Indiana Learns Tutoring Grant. These have been discussed with Samantha, so we would like to ask for your approval for those items.
Awesome. Board, do I have a motion for the approval of the supplemental payments as presented by Ms. Helton?
I move that we approve.
Thank you, Ms. Hutchinson. Do I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Any questions or comments for Ms. Helton? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstaining?
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Are you back to the next one?
I am.
Okay, safe hiring, safe visitor student solution agreement.
Yes. So currently, we use Safe Harbor Hiring Solutions is our vendor for processing criminal background screenings for our employees and volunteers. We basically want to expand this and use the Safe Visitor Solutions for our contractors, subcontractors, and our vendors. Having this information readily available, something that Nate and I both will be able to have access to, is just going to streamline things, make things a little easier. It's a very minimal fee. It's $250 annually. So that being said, we would like to ask for your approval to add that on to our services by Safe Hiring.
Board, I move that we approve the agreement with Safe Visitors, Safe Hiring Solutions for criminal background screenings of contractors, subcontractors, and vendors. Could I get a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Any questions or comments?
I have a question. With our vendors and our subcontractors, is that in the contract that their employees will be screened?
Yes, and they have to provide us with copies. So
Okay.
they already do that, but just with us being able to have access, that's just going to streamline and be able for us to pull them a little quicker, other than asking them for the paperwork.
Okay.
Yep.
Also, another question, how deep does the background go? Is it just for like the state of Indiana?
No,
Just for
these
region?
are federal background checks, so they cover all of the states, and then also CPI index, so it covers child protective as well.
Great.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, board, all those in favor of the Safe Hiring, Safe Visitor Solutions Agreement, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining. All right, thank you. Thank you. Roofing for JHS natatorium project.
We'll bring some good news.
Here we go.
As we've done with all of our projects, you know, we have our CMC in place, and our facilities management team is responsible for the care of our roofing and HVAC. So last board meeting, you approved the contract for the natatorium. Now it's time to do the roofing and HVAC. So the very first item is requesting that the board approve the agreement between Greater Clark County Schools and Perfection Group for the GHS natatorium roofing project. The amount is $2,178,067, and we have that in our bond that is reserved for that project.
Okay, board, do I have a motion for approval of the roofing for JHS natatorium with Perfections Group?
I recommend you approve the roofing for the JHS natatorium project.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Paul. Are there any questions or comments on what's of each project? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And abstaining.
The next item that is related to the GHS natatorium project is the mechanicals, which you know is very intricate in the dehumidification and protection of the operation of that building. So, again, Perfection and professionals in that area have worked with the architects and design team throughout this project and have given us a contract that does have some contingency in there, because this is very important, because that runs your whole entire pool. That's what we want to make sure is working. So that contract is $6,757,346 for the HVAC and mechanicals for the pool at the JHS natatorium. This is my request that the board approve this contract. And it is in the bond. I already prepared.
Board, do I have a motion for the HVAC mechanicals for the JHS natatorium project with Perfections Group?
So, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. Do I have a second, please? Thank you, Ms. Mustaine. Are there any other questions, comments? Is the contingency in that $6 million?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining. Okay. Roofing for Riverside Elementary and Jacksonville High School.
Yes, as part of the 5-year approved capital plan that we are planning for, and what we're getting ready to approve resolutions for, we have a roofing allotment to continue to take care of our roofs. Those have been assessed, and we have the most emergent ones that we want to do as a priority this time. One is being the Riverside new shingling of that roof. We added on, and during that time, we discovered the needs in that roof needs to be handled. So that is one part, and the other is there's a section, Jeffersonville large, so we do those in sections. So there is a section A that we've shown you on the diagram that we're going to perform that replacement this year. So maximum guaranteed price for Jeff High is a little over 1.4 million. And the maximum guaranteed price for Riverside is $1,189,000. That is outlined and budgeted for in the plan for year one. It's my recommendation that the board approves the contract between Greater Clark County Schools and Perfection.
Or do I have a motion for that approval? Okay, and I second the approval of the roofing for Riverside Elementary and Jeffersonville High School with Perfection Group. I second that. Any questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No abstaining. All right. Moving right along. Resolution authorizing execution of amendment to lease agreement 2024 EP.
Yes.
Go us.
Yes. This is part of the process to get everything taken.
I understand.
I'm very proud of you.
I understand.
Very proud of you. Attached the agreement to the lease, attaches the amendment to the lease agreement for 2024. The purpose for the amendment is to engage with Greater Clark Building Corporation by amending the original lease agreement dated October 2011, thus allowing the corporation to have premises under lease for the 24 barring that will be used for the capital plan outlined for general improvements at all academic buildings of the district, including but not limited to improvements to GHS flooring and restrooms, soccer and baseball fields, CHS auditorium renovations, general repairs, improvements to classrooms and roofing, HVAC, paving, technology, fencing, security, land purchases, buses. The resolution will refer to as the project. These items were outlined in the year one of the new 5-year capital plan presented to the board. I recommend to the Board of Trustees approve the amendment to the lease agreement by way of resolution as presented.
Okay, board, do I have a motion for the approval of resolution authorizing execution of amendment to lease agreement 2024 bond issuance?
Make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Do I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Are there any questions regarding this? I know it's. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining. Okey-doke. Are you still keeping going? All
Yeah,
right.
good. I got you all the way to the end.
All right.
Attached is a resolution approving the issuance of bonds by Greater Clark County School Building Corporation. The purpose of this authorization resolution is to inform the Greater Clark County School Board of Trustees of the issuance and authorizing the Greater Clark Building Corporation to do so, thus allowing the corporation to receive bond funds for the capital plan as outlined for general improvements of all academic buildings of the district, including but not limited to improvements to JHS flooring and restrooms, soccer and baseball fields, CHS auditorium renovations, general repairs, improvements to classrooms, roofing, HVAC, paving, technology, fencing, security, land purchases, and buses. The resolution addresses authorizations for items outlined in year one of the 5-year capital plan presented to the board. I recommend that the Board of Trustees approve the resolution approving the issuance of bonds by Greater Clark County School Board Building Corporation as presented.
Or do I have a motion for the approval of the resolution for the additional appropriations here?
I move that we approve the additional appropriations,
Thank
Mr.
you.
President.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman.
If I can say something during this period.
Please do.
The action is to request they approve the resolution authorizing issuance of bonds. The additional appropriations is the next item. So just, we have to
Okay.
catch that a little bit.
All right.
All right. So I'm looking for a recommendation approving the resolution authorizing the issuance of bonds.
It should say resolution authorizing issuance of bonds.
Number 10.
It says that on the title, but not,
Okay. Yeah, I got you. So it's not a resolution highlight. Okay.
I'll rephrase the motion.
I
See what I-
We
Yes.
approve the issuance of bonds.
Yes.
And I second that.
Number 10.
It's not, no, it's not.
If you
Look
look
here.
at the expanded agenda, this is what they're looking at. This is what they're looking at. Since that's here, here,
Okay.
We'll fix the one in board docs, we apologize.
Okay.
Yeah, that's titles correct.
Okay, so we've got a motion and a second for that
Kevin
resolution.
and Nikki.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
And then, thank you all for your patience. Any questions or comments? And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining. All right. Move on to number 11 now, and this would be a resolution for additional appropriations.
Correct. Attached is a resolution approving the appropriation authorization to spend, right, we learned that a while back, bond funds, thus allowing the corporation to spend bond funds for the capital plan as outlined for general improvements in all academic buildings and so on. I don't need to repeat that unless you want to know specifically. That is outlined in year 1 of the 5-year plan. I recommend that the board of trustees approve the resolution for additional appropriation as presented.
Board, do I have a motion for the approval of the resolution for additional appropriation as presented? Easily said.
I move that we approve those resolutions for additional appropriations presented.
Thank you. Is that- I hope that there be a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Questions or comments? I know it seems crazy and there's a whole lot of that's getting thrown into this, but whoever's possibly listening out there, to be quite honest with you, this deferred maintenance that's gone on for years and years, this is just a very necessary thing that we've got to do. And it seems like we're doing a lot. We keep throwing the same stuff on, but quite honestly, if we don't do this now, we're really going to be in a world of hurt. That was my comment. Any other comments? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No abstaining. All right, next is the resolution approving refunding for Series 2014 bond.
Perfect.
Wow.
So, you had done some high school improvements years ago, refinanced bonds, and this is the second refinancing. This will save the district about $1 million. So we feel very prudent to present this resolution to the board. Attached is a resolution approving the refunding of the bond series from 2014 A and B. The purpose of the resolution is to refinance these bonds to create interest cost savings to the districts, and such savings will be realized by the district in the annual lease rental payment of payments. It is my recommendation that the board of trustees approve the resolution approving the refunding of the series 2014 bonds.
Do I have the motion for the approval of the resolution approving refunding for the Series 2014 bonds?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Mustaine. Any questions or comments for this year? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And abstaining. Okay. Resolution for reimbursement of expenditures.
Because we are going to go ahead and proceed and get everybody in place, there are expenses prior to me actually getting funds in hand. So the beauty of the position of the district is that I can create that fund. It will be in the home. You'll be able to see that clearly on the treasurer's report. And this authorizes me to go ahead and ask the bank to reimburse me once those funds are received. That's as simple as I can make of that reimbursement resolution. Want you to know that all of the paving, right, we will have completed the entire paving schedule that we outlined from the beginning. The next paving related items will keep everything maintenance to do that, and painting curbs, sidewalks, lining, making sure that those will stay on a consistent maintenance plan. Eventually, once we get everybody caught up to that level and we're on a schedule that perfection now has that routine maintenance schedule, that will then migrate over to your operations fund. Hence why we're having to increase that appropriation, because you never had it before. So that's the purpose of your operations fund, to take on those benefits and programs. Same thing's going on with the roofing. It'll take us a little bit longer to get it all there. But the roofing replacement plans with the warranties that we have, it will not come around as quick, and they are going to be very timed, so that way you don't have 22 to do at once like you do now. So it is my recommendation that the board approve the resolution to reimburse expenditures as presented.
Board, do I have a motion for the approval of the resolution to reimburse expenditures as
I'll make that
presented?
motion.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. So I have a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Are there any other questions, Ms. Huber? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, moving right along, I think we've had in board comments, so, Mr. Jones, we got any?
I'm just excited to see Parkland's moving on. It's long overdue, and excited to get that started for the kiddos over there.
Absolutely. Ms. Hutchinson, do you have pearls of wisdom for us?
No, Rose Wisdom, the duckbill platypus is the only mammal that lays eggs, so that's a little nugget for you.
Nice. I'll use that
Giraffes
later.
are the only mammals that don't make sound because they don't have vocal folds. Also, spring break is next week, that's pretty exciting. So everybody be safe, be careful if you're traveling.
Mr. Paul?
Just a great show of appreciation to the city of Jeffersonville, Mayor Moore, and the city of Charlestown, and Mayor Hodges. Thank you so much for the donations. Greatly appreciated.
Thank you. Ms.
Mr.
Mustangs?
Couple, I want to offer my condolences to Brian Jones and Will Jones, passing of their father. I think his memorial services Saturday, correct? And also exciting, boys are going to semi-state this weekend to Newcastle. It's going to be tough, but we can do it. And our coaches and our coaching team and our boys continue to show great sportsmanship on and off the court. Very proud of our young men. Wish them good luck this weekend.
Thank you, Ms. Mustangs. Mr. Freeman?
Yes, I want to give a shout out to Adam Miller, who is going to be moving over to the River Valley to teach the band there. They're going to get an awesome teacher next year, and I look forward to great things from that move as well as, more than likely he's got some more time on his hands. He might be giving my oldest kid some percussion lessons. So, speaking of, not only, my oldest kid, Lydia, but also all of her friends and a lot of other eighth graders in Washington, D.C. I got word that they arrived earlier today. Hopefully they have an awesome trip. I heard the weather's nice. The reflecting pool, the things under construction, but other than that, I don't think they'll have any problems seeing the sights. So hope they have a good trip, safe travels home.
Thank you. Ms. Perkins?
Just congratulations, as Tammy said, to not only our Jeff basketball team, but we've had lots and lots of contests and, choir, and it's hard to keep up with all of the champions we've had recently. And I have to include the elementary boys. That was pretty exciting game, and it looks like we've got some good players coming up.
Awesome. Mr. Freeman, I just have to ask you this. You mean to tell me that you started one of your children with percussion instruments around your home?
Hey.
So they're banging on things, beating on things.
You would be surprised at how many instruments I actually have in my house, even though I'm not musically inclined. There are, bongos, different chimes, cymbals, the triangle, everything.
Cymbals?
It's a beat machine.
Your neighbors must love you.
I mean, I have a pretty decent house. It's kind of insulated. So
Perfectionist might be able to help you with the noise issue. Anyway, I just had to ask you. I'm sorry, that just seemed funny to me, but maybe not everybody else. I want to shout out to the teachers. I know it's spring break's a really tough transition, and it's weird because whatever vantage point you have, whether you're in administration, you're in the classroom, the teachers in the classroom are looking forward to summer. They're looking forward to getting things done and finish things correctly. Administration, on the other hand, they're planning for next year. They don't have much summer, and so it's difficult for both sides. Having been there, I understand that. But I do know the pace in the classroom. It's rigorous and it's very hard, and it's so the break's going to be it's one of the best there is, and throw in Girl Scout cookies and you got a party. So that's really all I can say. So that's all I can say.
Mark, I got one other thing. So, Teresa just reminded me, the Devil's Advocates are in States at Franklin Central High School this Friday. So if you happen to be in the greater Indianapolis area, please check them out. It's Franklin Central. It is not in Franklin, Indiana. I have made the mistake before in my life. So please go out and support them. There, thanks.
Yes, absolutely. I have a few things. First, want to thank the city of Jeffersonville, city of Charlestown for the kind donation and supporting us. Secondly, I want to thank Mr. York and Mr. Young for coming to the meeting tonight. I will tell you, the board and the community, the way we proceed forward with this is, since Greater Clark went to the academy model, we review pathways every year. Our academy and CTE director, Brian Reed, our counseling coordinator, Lori Stinson, Melissa Bauer, our director of secondary schools, and then all the counselors at the high schools review these pathways, review student requests. And then we try to make decisions on, all right, what pathways do we get rid of, what pathways do we add? And so I'm happy you brought this to our attention today. It's certainly something we can review. That group of people can review in terms of take a look at the numbers, how many students do go to Prosser, how many students would like to go to Prosser but they're not able to, or they're not accepted, and just what those numbers look like. But I did want to share with you the process we go through each year, because one of the things the state and the Department of Workforce Development, and certainly John was part of this in his previous job, is they want us to make sure that we're providing students pathways that are high wage, high demand jobs. And that's been our focus through the academy. And that'll continue to be our focus, is providing our students pathways that are high wage, high demand pathways. So I thank you for coming and sharing your concern, and we'll certainly take a look at it. The other thing I wanted to note is we just had our exit interview for our 2-year State Board of Accounts audit. We were pleased with the exit interview. There were a few minor findings that we need to take care of and clean up, but no major findings, correct? So we were pretty happy with the result of that audit. We feel good about the few little things that we need to clean up. We can clean up pretty easily. And then also, congratulations to the Jeff High basketball team. Also, good luck Saturday. Like Tammy said, there's tough competition up there. They're going to play well to come out of that weekend. So, good luck to them. And we know they're going to play hard, and conduct themselves in a very professional manner.
Mr. Markowski? Go into the sunshine. Before I move we adjourn, can I please have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.